Thinking of the best non-alcoholic beers? 2025 is raising the bar with bold flavors and game-changing brands. Stick around for the top 10 NA beer brands. You might be surprised by my recommendations. I've got my favorite beer, my favorite glass, and in today's video, I will be covering my top 10 favorite non-alcoholic beer brands that you should look out for in 2025. Dry January is here and it's the perfect time to try new things. This video will cover my top 10 favorites in order, I think, kind of in order, but more or less give you some ideas to try out NA beer if it's your first time in trying it, or if you're a seasoned veteran, maybe some things you haven't thought of or hadn't had in the past. Here's to that. Cheers, everybody. This is, by the way, a Go Brewing New School Sour, my favorite non-alcoholic beer right now, and has been for some time since I tried it. Cheers. And you should know that Go Brewing is my favorite beer. I represent them. I'm the ambassador for Minnesota. I've placed them into, I want to say, close to 50 accounts locally, and everybody that tries it loves it. It hits the lips, you get that bite, you get that flavor, you get that mouthfeel. It's on point. I believe right now they've got 15 different NA beers on their website. You can get them in Costco, Total Wine, different retail establishments, on-premise, off-premise. They're growing so rapidly. So yes, Go Brewing is a must try. I'm gonna be sipping on my New School Sour for the remainder of this video, while also telling you about others that you need to try, like Sober Carpenter. Just pull up the picture right here. Just did a recent review of their black IPA. They've also got a great cider, a raspberry sour. They have a tremendous amount of IPAs, including their double dry hop hazy, delicious stuff. Sober Carpenter also available in most Total Wines that I'm aware of, at least locally here in Minnesota. Cheers to them. I've got a couple videos on the channel. Should be noted, this is my 100th YouTube video that I will have posted since October 2023. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Take a look at what else is on the channel. Hopefully it opens your eyes to some things you might want to try in 2025. Cheers to that. Next brand, Mash Gang. I've done a decent amount of Mash Gang reviews. I've interviewed the Mash Gang pilot project incubator brewery founder, and realistically, it's one of the most interesting brands. They're hard to find and they're expensive, but if you can get your hands on Mash Gang somehow, some way, through a local bottle shop or a connection or a site online, you have to try it because it is so special. They've got dozens of beers that they've put out through different collaborations with various UK, United Kingdom breweries, and Australia and the US. They're all over the place. They're growing quite rapidly right now after some investment from venture capital. Next would be Beaglepuss. Beaglepuss is a small craft non-alcoholic brewery on the East Coast. I believe they're in Connecticut. They're hard to come by. They're a little expensive, but their Strange Happenings Hazy IPA is top 5 beers for me. The Inverse IPA West Coast, very good. Their Them Apples, dry hopped New England cider is amazing, probably my favorite cider. And realistically, Beaglepuss is just a little bit different. It's very small and it's delicious stuff. You can get it on their website. Next up, we've got Untitled Art. Untitled Art is probably the most expensive non-alcoholic beer you can get at Total Wine. I think it's $15.99 a 6-pack, but it's worth it. They have some tremendous capabilities when it comes to de-alcoholization that gives them a great mouthfeel, good look, decent head, and I think I don't know exactly how many beers they have, but it's got to be at least 10, 15. They've got some really cool options, including their sours and their IPAs. I'm gonna take a drink. Wow. If you haven't had, I'll double back. If you haven't had the Go Brewing New School Sour, you're missing out. If you like sours, it's a no-brainer. If you don't really like beer, also no-brainer, because it doesn't really taste like beer in the grand scheme, but it is beer. It's got the standard ingredients along with some fruit puree to give it that sweetness, while only having 3.2 grams of sugar. Mind-blowing. Next up, we've got Deschutes. Deschutes is out of Bend, Oregon. They have 2 mainstays within their lineup for non-alcoholic beers, as well as a collaboration with Patagonia Provisions with their Kernza Golden Ale. But the Black Beet Porter and the Fresh Squeeze IPA are phenomenal NA beers. They are realistically some of my favorites that I need to go back and try more of. I've just been trying new things lately, so I haven't had them in a while, but they're really, really good NA beers. I think they're de-alcoholized with a brand called Buau, and it's just good stuff. So give it a shot. I know it's at Total Wine. They're pretty widespread distribution as well. Next up, a smaller brand called Momentum. They have a tremendous hazy IPA, and I've also had their black IPA. There's a video of the black IPA. Take a look at that. It's compared with the Sober Carpenter black IPA. That black IPA stands out most formidably because it has the dark characteristic, good mouthfeel with that hoppy ending and bitterness. So black IPA, Momentum, hazy IPA, Momentum, gotta try them. Next up, the Busty Lush lineup. I think they have, I forget if it's 3 or 4 beers, but the Oatmeal Stout and the Tropical Vice beer, hands down some of the best up and coming beers I've had in the past year. They're not very widely distributed to my knowledge, but if you can get them at a local bottle shop or on their website, give it a shot. Really, really good stuff from a small brand. Next up, we have a little bit more broad reaching, a little bit less craft, but Guinness. Guinness is good. The Guinness Zero, well, it's technically labeled as zero, but I think it's 0.5% alcohol, non-alcoholic beer. Solid. It's a good replacement for the standard Guinness. You get that that mouthfeel with the nitrogen bubbles. It's not overly heavy. It's fairly light in terms of the body and the mouthfeel, but it's counteracted with that nitrogen. So it's got a nice balance. Also with Guinness, you get the rich texture and color. It feels like you're drinking a real Guinness, and that's kind of the fun part about it. I need to get a Guinness glass so that I can pour it out so it fits perfectly. Just haven't done that yet. And lastly, the top 10, Buau. Buau just has a really fun story, and it's really quite good. It's not the best non-alcoholic beer out there, but it is solid. I had the opportunity to review it. It was the #1 video I produced in 2024. It had 6,300 videos as of this taping in January 2025, which is like 10 times plus my next longest video, or my next most viewed video. So if you're curious about Buau, go check out that video. I've also done an interview, podcast interview with the brewmaster, Grant Wood, with Buau. That's on my channel as well. You'll notice I didn't include athletic brewing because athletic brewing is everywhere. You should probably have already had it if you're in the NA beer space. You've probably seen it at shops and Target and wherever else, Whole Foods. Athletic is great. I would put them at number 11. I just wanted to include Buau because it's such a cool story with Tom Holland, Spider-Man, sober story with his creating of a new brand, but Athletic is phenomenal. They have so many different beers. They're constantly coming out with new stuff. So number 11, Athletic. Give it a try if it's your first time trying NA beer. It's accessible, it's out there. It's at restaurants, it's at bars, it's all over the place. So good stuff. Top 11 beers, there you have it. If you're interested in learning more about NA beer, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos. 2025 could be a tremendous year for you if you want to broaden the horizons and try some new options that could help your health, your mental health, your physical health, and your just overall enjoyment of beverages and what goes along with NA beer, which is no hangovers, no having to worry about driving, and really just a better experience of enjoying different beverages. So with that, I appreciate everybody that watched today. Appreciate everybody that watched over the past year since I've been doing this project with my non-alcoholic beer journey. And to those that try out any of these beers I just recommended, these brands, have fun with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks everybody. Cheers.